Hey, Akashic Academy. I want to welcome you if you are joining live on Facebook. I want to welcome you if you are joining us on the YouTube channel. My name is Emily Harrison, and I am the founder and director here of the Akashic Academy. And I am a mentor to other lightworkers in the realm of the Akashic Records, which is such a phenomenal place, as Cindy, my student right here, has hopped on to join us. Cindy, wasn't this morning remarkable? Tuesday mornings are the time when I gather with my students inside our private group where we are learning and expanding and growing, and I just really love how the conversation was so poignant today on bringing the awareness to just how self-transformational learning to read the Akashic Records can be. Yes, we learn new energetic skills. Yes, we activate our dynamic multidimensional selves, but even bigger than that, you get to know who you are. You get to know who this person is on the inside. You learn to love this person that you are. And that is one of the biggest gifts that I have ever experienced in my life. And it's one of the biggest things that I am sharing with my students inside of that space, is really truly learning to understand who you are and to love that person, love the dynamic journey and mission that you are on. Plus, we activate some crazy multidimensional skills, and we're doing all of that with the Akashic Records. It is truly a phenomenal asset in my life. I use it every day, including for these videos, just to tune in and say, hey, what is it that we should talk about today? Where should I use this idea of synchronizing our breath and just breathing together to bring more awareness and to teach people how to step into the bigger aspect of themselves, to expand our awareness, our consciousness. That is what it's all about. And right now in particular, I'm noticing a lot of timeline shifting going on. I'm noticing a lot of energy healers and speakers talking about it. I'm noticing it in my own world. And I wanted to share with you guys ways that you can begin to identify, is this happening to me? And of course, what we can do about it. What we can do about it is that we want to assist that process. We want to understand how and what makes us step into the different timelines, the different dimensional realities, and how we can start to show up more often, anchor ourselves more often in those higher timelines, those highest aspects of who we are. Now, for me in particular, there have been a lot of things coming up this day in particular that at one point in time I would have perceived as challenges. If I were in a little higher essence of myself, I would have called it a learning opportunity. Right now, I am in such a space, I am so smooth that these things are literally like passing right through me. And that's a level of my own energy that I haven't necessarily experienced yet. For the most part, if something is a learning lesson, like I know that something's coming up, and I have to like reframe how I'm experiencing it so I can learn to see it as my teacher. And then, you work with accepting it, and then and forgiveness, if you got to forgive somebody that's coming up. Right now, this stuff is just moving right through me. And one way that you can begin to recognize if you are doing this timeline shifting thing is, are you noticing yourself reacting in different ways that are outside of your norm? And granted, your norm can be an old norm. Your norm can be a dysfunctional norm. It's not necessarily a good thing. It's just how you normally are. And many times our normal is because of default, right? It's because that's how we've been programmed from growing up the way we grew up, with the particular parents we had, with the friends that we had, with the experiences that we had. So many of our responses are programmed, are normal, are default. So if you begin to notice yourself responding in a way that is lighter, that is happier, that is more compassionate, that laughs more often, then you are indeed shifting timelines. You are indeed stepping into these higher aspects of yourself. Hi, Mama. Mama is here. That is one of the more subtle ways, and probably one of the ways that you'll experience most often is noticing that vibrational frequency within yourself. Now, I will say there are times in your physical reality when you may notice a timeline shift as well. So many of you have likely heard of the mandala effect, and that is basically going back to the idea that there is a strong percentage of the collective population that remembers Nelson Mandela dying in prison. And this is just one example of a memory that the collective consciousness seems to have, that based on the reality that we're in right now isn't true. Nelson Mandela did not die in prison. He was released in prison and died just a couple years ago, several years ago, somewhere in the recent past. And like I said, there's a collective group of the population that remembers that in a different way. So there are these times when you will experience the Mandela effect, or there will be a physical difference that is showing up. And it's happening to me every now and then, and I do second guess myself. I'm like, well, maybe I just didn't see clearly what was going on. For example, I was looking for a chair the other day, and my husband told me, he's like, I left your chair in the garage. And oh my gosh, I just glanced up, you guys, and I saw in my window, and my kids are in there running around and dancing and trying to be distracting. I got to go Tiger Woods and like super focus. So I went into the garage to look for this chair. I didn't see the chair anywhere. I scoped out the whole garage looking for this chair. And my husband came home and I'm like, hey babe, where's my chair? You said it was in the garage. I didn't see it in the garage. And it is nowhere to be found. He walks in, he's like, what, you mean right there? The chair right there in the middle of the garage? And I literally didn't know what to do but to shrug my shoulders. It was not in the middle of the floor in the garage when I went in looking for it. Again, you second guess yourself. You're like, maybe I missed it. At this point, I'm just creating that space to say, all right, this is how things are evolving in our world. This is the evidence that's showing up, that we can begin to recognize that things aren't as solid as they seem. This universe is very, very malleable, and there are many different layers and dimensions happening all at once. We look at it like a radio signal, right? Like you're listening to a particular frequency on your radio. You can turn that dial, not move yourself at all, just turn the dial, and you tune into an entirely different frequency. So this is patternistic of what we experience in our actual universe as well. And we're learning how to get really good at tuning the dial exactly where we want it. We do this by increasing our consciousness, increasing our awareness, increasing our vibration. You do that by showing up here to breathe, by following your passions, the things that excite you. You increase your vibration by untangling from the aspects of you that have been imprisoned to whatever you're imprisoned to, whether you're a slave to your job or you're a slave to your old patterns. Anything that is not creating or supporting a state of peace, love, joy, and expansion in you has got to go. And when you begin to align yourself where you are experiencing this peace, this love, this joy, this expansion in every aspect of your life, through your food, through what you take in, your consumption in terms of your entertainment, the people that you hang out with, the space that you are in. All of these things begin to raise your vibrational frequency. And we are going to raise our frequency right here together just by breathing, by expanding our breath. I want to invite you guys who are here, take a moment, share this out. We're going to do the exercise in just a few moments. And you guys know it's very simple, it's very quick, and it's very, very effective in terms of that stone in the pond. This is throwing a stone in the pond of your awareness. And the ripples will just continue to ripple out, bringing whatever insights, whatever expansion, whatever opening that you need. It has its own life, its own consciousness. So we're going to use it today, create space for awareness so that we can begin to pay attention to these aspects of the timelines, the dimensional shifts, the portals that are opening, the opportunities to step into those higher timelines. This is our opportunity to empower ourselves to make those steps, okay? And that's what we're doing here together. Nice deep breaths. Everybody ready? I want you to focus on that column of light running up and down your spine. And as we breathe, see your breath, your life force energy, rising to the top on the inhale and all the way to the bottom of your spine on the exhale, okay? Let's go to that deep breath in. And we do a slight pause at the top, exhaling. Good job. Try to keep your face very relaxed. Deep breath in. And exhaling. Relaxation is such a key to our level of awareness. As soon as we get tense and rigid, our awareness shrinks almost instantly. Deep breath in. And exhaling. And don't rush it. We tend to rush through so much of our life. Deep breath in. Yes, Bobby, it is short. We should just be grateful and appreciate. Slow it down. Slowing down time. Deep breath in. Pausing at the top, just settling into that bigger, expanded energy. Exhaling. Good job. Nice deep breath in. And exhaling. All that life force energy that we're bringing in together, that we're expanding. Nice deep breath in. Expanding our life force energy together, the collective. Exhaling. Good job. And now let's just hold some space to integrate that energy, just to let it sink in. This is like Shavasana in yoga. You just allow it to soak in to every cell inside of your body, all the layers of your energy bodies. Just holding this higher frequency of consciousness here together. And now I'd like just to ask you guys, give it back to the planet, whatever that means for you. Right? If you like to send that energy into Mother Earth, into the crystalline grid, you can. If you like to give an offering from your heart space, if you like to use your hands, whatever makes sense to you, just giving that expansion now back to the collective, making it available for those people around you, whether you go on a soapbox like this or not. Just you being who you are and being in your own expanded energy is going to expand people around you. So just holding space for that as well. Awesome. I love hanging out with you guys and sharing what's going on with me, how I relate that to the students that I work with and the planet, who is those of you guys who show up to listen. Speaking of showing up, Lindsay Aaron, my cousin in the house. What's up, girly? I love you guys all. Thank you for hanging out. Aunt Candy is here too. I love it. Mwah. To my peeps, my family back in Missouri. I got more family here. Look who's sneaking in. She's trying to tiptoe around, by the way. Vivi is not the one who is dancing inside. That was Jack who was cutting the rug in there. Vivi was just tiptoeing out here. She was actually doing the balance beam on the hose while we were breathing. Have a great night, everybody. I look forward to seeing you here again.
My teeth are so separated.